Last year around this time, we were talking about the upcoming release of the final Pink Floyd album to ever be created, which is The Endless River. Less than a year later, we're here talking about David Gilmour and his brand new solo album entitled Rattle That Lock. This is his fourth solo release, and the first of really any notable activity that has occurred post the ending of Pink Floyd as a band. Now, David, of course, has been seen as a real driving force for the band. It's been a long time that he has really had that title, but of course, whenever Roger Waters split after The Wall, he was considered to be one of the principal songwriters. And the albums that he was on were noted for their very dreamy atmosphere, and the last solo album that he was a part of, which I believe was entitled On an Island, which was back in 2010, I want to say, or maybe 2011, really exhibited that nature very, very well. So, Rattle That Lock, we would imagine, would probably have some of those elements to it as well. And really that spacey, very airy environment is something that's extremely present whenever it comes to the instrumentals that are on this album. If you think of some of the moments from The Endless River that had a very spacey and airy atmosphere, considering this was a mainly instrumental album that was released last year by the famous psychedelic rock band, songs such as 5 a.m. or Beauty or the finale of this album, And Then, will certainly not be all that surprising to you. It won't take you off guard, take you aback. You are already well adjusted to what David Gilmour is capable of whenever it comes to putting together a song and plucking at a guitar. It's something that has a very soft, melodic, and very beautiful tense to it, and it's something that can easily fluctuate emotionally very, very quickly, but also fluctuate emotionally really just right on cue and right on point. Rattle That Lock itself actually sounds like something that would be maybe better suited in the 1980s, which is kind of hysterical about that. It's based off of a jingle that was in France. And the music itself being this way actually makes you think a little bit of The Wall. It makes you think about the Another Brick on the Wall trilogy of songs just a little bit, but it has a little bit more of a positive edge to it. It just has a little bit of a fun edge to it, almost as though this is a track where Dave is just enjoying things a little bit, but the lyricism itself was actually written by his wife, and it was based off of the second book of John Milton's Paradise Lost. The themology of that, at least, not something where they're trying to describe the book piece by piece or word by word, and it works pretty well. However, we also see a little bit of diversity in this album from David Gilmour. The Girl in the Yellow Dress really has a very jazzy feel to it. It includes a saxophone and a little bit of just really awesome environments there that really fulfill that concept of sort of being in sort of a hole-in-the-wall venue where there's a lot of stale cigarette smoke in the air, and maybe there's just David up there on stage with his lone saxophone player and somebody holding an upright bass, and they're just plucking around, and this song just sort of materializes about this girl in the yellow dress in a very lounge-like environment, or at least lounge in the world of David Gilmour, and the style of David Gilmour, which is certainly a unique take by itself. Whereas today has a little bit more of almost a dancey atmosphere to it. Once again, dancey to David Gilmour, which again feels like it's a bit misplaced in the 1980s, where it has a little bit of a rhythm to it, but the guitar work on this song is certainly one of the principal highlights. A Boat Lies Waiting, which is all the way back on the first half of the disc, actually features a Richard Wright voice clip, which is definitely, it will warm the ears of some individuals that have not heard that name in a while, but also features guest vocals from David Crosby and Graham Nash. So we now have three classic singers harmonizing on this track, and it is very awesome considering the spacey atmosphere going around this harmonization by these three legends that just have recognizable voices. Graham and Nash have done some stuff with John Mayer and have also done some of their own work. Of course, their work with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young are legendary. They are considered to be some of the best within the classic rock genre. But then things really take a turn. And you think that so far we've been pretty positive, so turn how? Dancing right in front of me is 6 minutes in length and is an absolutely beautiful song. It's filled with a haunting, slightly repetitious hook, and it is one that the music itself goes from a little bit dreamy to high atmosphere, with a whole lot of emphasis being placed on the idea of just calm and the idea of just being sort of out there in the middle of nowhere, floating around, and whenever you listen to this. And it's certainly a unique take. It's certainly a glorious feel. But then the page turns to In Any Tongue. In Any Tongue features David Gilmour's son Gabriel for his recording debut, as he is playing piano on this song. And this song is a highlight and a half. This is the highlight reel whenever it comes to this David Gilmour album, whenever it comes to Rattle That Lock, because the feeling, the emotion, the musicality, everything that is presented on this song is top-notch, pristine, and the beauty, the haunting, cerebral nature of the beauty, the point where David himself goes to ranges with his voice that he typically does not touch, really showcases the dedication and showcases the real desire to create and craft something unique and something special with his son, and they did exactly that, because In Any Tongue achieves that and will really go down in history whenever it comes to David's solo work, and even within some of the elements of the Pink Floyd discography, as just one of the best songs associated with the members of Pink Floyd and their respective projects. So what to say about this album? What to say about Rattle That Lock? I would say that this is definitely surprising. I expected that David would be able to really deliver, but I didn't actually expect him to deliver with as much diversity and with as much power and passion as he really did with Rattle That Lock. This is an album that will take many individuals by surprise on just how solid of a body of work that this is, considering these are songs that have been coming together for a number of years, and one of them actually is an old piano, or started as an old piano track from 18 years ago, so we're talking back in the 1997 territory. Really, really solid, damn good work from a classic rock legend, so you must expect nothing less. 86 out of 100. Absolutely beautiful album. If you're a Pink Floyd fan, this is no question, you want this album. If you're a classic rock fan, you want this album. If you just like good music that has a solid bearing behind it, and feel that David Gilmour should write all of the spots for the Weather Channel, for Elevators, and you just want a CD of them yourself, 75 selections of instrumental David Gilmour bliss, then I don't need to tell you to get this album, because you probably already have it. I want to know what you guys think about this. I want to know what you think about Rattle That Lock by David Gilmour. Let me know in the comments below. I am Cover Killer Nation, and damn, was this an amazing ride and an amazing experience. I want to know what you thought of it, though. I'll talk to you later.